It began before Jacob ever opened his eyes. Inside Rebekah's womb, there was war, not movement, struggle. She cried out in fear, "If it is so, why is this happening to me?" And the Lord answered her with words that would shape everything. "Two nations are in your womb. Two peoples will be separated. The older will serve the younger." This was not a normal life. This was a conflict, written before birth. When the children came into the world, Esau burst out first, strong, red, wild. Then a smaller hand appeared, gripping his heel, tight, refusing to let go. That was Jacob, and that grip would define him. Years passed. Two brothers, one house, no peace. Esau lived in the open fields, hunting, sweating, surviving. Jacob stayed in the shadows, watching, thinking, waiting. One lived by strength, the other by strategy. One evening, Esau stumbled back home, exhausted, his body collapsing from hunger. Jacob sat there calmly, stirring a pot. The smell filled the air. Esau's voice cracked. "Give me some of that stew. I'm starving." Jacob didn't rush, didn't move. He looked straight at him and said, "Sell me your birthright." Esau snapped in frustration. "I'm about to die. What good is a birthright to me now?" Jacob leaned in slightly. "Swear it." A pause, a fatal pause. "I swear." And just like that, a future was traded for a moment. But Jacob wasn't done. He didn't just want opportunity, he wanted everything. Years later, Isaac lay weak, blind, nearing death. His voice trembled. "Esau, my son, go hunt for me. Prepare the meal I love, so I may bless you before I die." Rebekah heard it, and everything changed. She grabbed Jacob's arm. "Listen carefully. This is your moment." Jacob hesitated, not because it was wrong, but because it was risky. "What if he recognizes me? I'll bring a curse on myself." Rebekah's voice turned cold. "Let the curse fall on me. Just obey." Moments later, Jacob stood at the entrance, disguised, covered in animal skin, wearing his brother's identity. He stepped inside. "My father." Isaac's voice was weak. "Who is it?" A heartbeat passed. Then Jacob said it. "I am Esau, your firstborn." Silence. Heavy, dangerous silence. Isaac whispered, "Come closer. Let me touch you." Jacob stepped forward. Isaac's hands trembled across his arms. The voice is Jacob's. A pause, but the hands are Esau's. "One last question. Are you really my son, Esau?" Jacob answered, "I am." And with that, the blessing was stolen. Minutes later, Esau entered, smiling, confident. "Father, sit up, eat, and bless me." Isaac froze. "Who are you?" "I am your son, Esau." The room collapsed into chaos. Isaac began shaking violently. "Then who was here? Who have I blessed?" Esau understood, and something inside him broke. A cry ripped out of him. "Bless me too, father!" But Isaac couldn't undo it. It is done. That day, Jacob didn't win. He destroyed something. Esau's grief turned into hatred. "I will kill him." That was enough. Jacob ran, alone, no home, no protection, just fear chasing him. That night, in the wilderness, he collapsed onto the ground. A stone under his head, and sleep took him. Then, a vision, a ladder stretching into the heavens, angels moving between worlds, and above it, the voice of God, "I am with you. I will not leave you." Jacob woke up, shaken. Surely God is in this place, and I didn't even know it. But even God's presence didn't erase his past. Years passed, hard years. Jacob worked for Laban. He fell in love with Rachel. "I'll work 7 years for her." 7 years, gone in what felt like days. That's how deeply he loved. But on the wedding night, everything collapsed again. Morning came, and it wasn't Rachel. It was Leah. Jacob's voice burned with anger. "Why have you deceived me?" Laban answered calmly, "This is how things are done here." For the first time, Jacob tasted his own medicine. Years turned into decades. A complicated family, jealousy, rivalry, tension. And then, the deepest cut of all. Joseph, his son, his favorite, gone. They brought back the coat, covered in blood. Jacob held it with shaking hands. His voice cracked. A wild animal has devoured him. He fell apart, tore his clothes, collapsed into grief. His sons tried to comfort him, but he pushed them away. No, I will go to my grave, mourning my son. And he meant it. Years passed, but the pain didn't fade. It stayed, quiet, heavy, unanswered. What Jacob didn't know was that Joseph was alive, breathing, rising, becoming powerful in Egypt. Then one day, the truth came back. Joseph is alive. Jacob didn't believe it. You're lying. But then he saw the proof, the carts, the provision, the possibility. And something inside him moved again. My son is alive? A whisper, a fragile hope. I will go before I die. When they finally met, there were no speeches. Joseph ran, wrapped his arms around his father, and wept. For a long time, years of pain poured out in silence. Jacob, old and tired, now I can die, because I have seen you. At the end of his life, standing before Pharaoh, Jacob said something brutally honest. My years have been few and difficult. No glory, no illusion, just truth. Jacob's story isn't clean. It's not heroic. It's heavy. A man who deceived and was deceived, who loved deeply and lost deeply, who wrestled with God and walked away wounded. That's Jacob. Not a perfect man, just a real one. And that's why his story hurts.